The recording is in progress.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, good morning to those it's morning, and good afternoon to those that is afternoon. This is Juliet Miabo from UnityNet South Africa, standing in for the Secretary General, Continental, Madam Jane, who's not able to be with us because of electricity problems. Our agenda, I don't know if people do have agendas with them. They are on the WhatsApp group for UnityNet African Diaspora, but it's quite a simple agenda, so I'll just go through it. We have the welcome speech from the Continental President, and then we'll have the introduction of new participants and guests. Please, if you are a guest and you are new or you've been here but you've never had a chance to introduce yourself, please be on standby to do that. And then we're supposed to have remarks from the Secretary General, but hopefully she'll be back then. After that, we won't have the presentation by the Continental President. What I'd like to suggest, with his permission, is that we could possibly have the tree planting preparation, or unless he prefers, that remains at the end. You will advise Dr. Carlos. And then we also have a presentation by myself regarding Africa Day, and also presentation by Patrick Nkoma from Malawi around the issue of strategic selling. So, and then from there, we will have space for discussion. After each presentation, we'll have a couple of minutes of Q&A and discussion. And then that should, okay, the last point will be tree planting, if that remains at the end. And then that should actually lead us to closure. The note from the Continental Secretary General that we should all observe time in terms of presentation, I guess also applies to myself. Is that in order, Dr. Carlos, before we continue?
Yeah, that is all. That is all. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Yes, as I said, I'd like to welcome everyone. Before I actually continue, I just want to check, is anyone else co-hosting?
Yes, I'm co-hosting also.
There are multiple
okay, please. Okay, can we please let people in? Yeah, I wasn't sure. I just wanted to make sure. Okay. I'd like to welcome everyone and thank you, Prince Andrew Williams Jr. And your team for covering and recording and sharing this meeting. Welcome to the UnityNet African Diaspora weekly meeting. And would like to actually thank those people who've taken the time to join in. And then without any waste of time, please let's remember that last week we did not have a meeting in honoring Ramadan. There was a bit of, there were a few people who were not aware, so we do apologize for those who were not aware, but nonetheless, we are all back together again, and then we continue from here on. And at this point, I'd like to ask the Continental President, Dr. Carlos, to do his welcome speech. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Juliet. I appreciate you, and you were not prepared for this, but you are a soldier, always prepared. And I want to thank the rest of the team and welcome everybody on board. That's, we all know, as usual, our Monday Continental sessions. This is a session where we prepare ourselves for the battle that is in front of us to rebrand Africa. And that's why we are here. So we are grateful to the Andrews Network that is supporting this process. Thank you so much, Prince Andrew, for what you're doing. We also thank the global team that is with us, and we're grateful that you are always with us and continue to be with us as we are all on the same journey to accomplish our global goals. So we appreciate you. And today, of course, we have a lot on our plate, but some of it has been subtracted. For instance, I'm not going to present because of my computer is giving me a problem to connect. So that is one section of it. And then also the Continental Secretary General is also facing some energy troubles in Kenya. So she told me before now, 1 or 2 hours before now. So that's also an issue, a concern around our areas she's supposed to play. And we also expecting today Dr. Mary to be the facilitator of this meeting. If she join us, that is fine, of course. Otherwise, we continue the ball rolling, as it is always important for us to maintain the gap and not to leave any vacuum within this process. And so just a few announcements I want to say that last week we had a session meeting with the UnityNet Africa and Diaspora Continental Board. And of course, we restructure and replace some members, new members within the Continental UnityNet Board of Governors. I will start to announce the names. Of course, I start with Madam Juliet. Congratulations. Madam Juliet has formally joined the UnityNet Africa and Diaspora Continental Board as the Vice Continental PRO/Communication Officer. You are welcome and
so
congratulations. Yes, so join me to congratulate Madam Juliet. Thank you. Yes, thank you so much. And also we had Queen Mother, Nena, who has also joined the team as a diaspora female representative. So we are expecting Queen Mother to join us. And so even though she's not here, can you join me to congratulate Queen Mother to a new position called to represent Africa diaspora? Congratulations, Queen Mother. Next to the other people, the other person that was also brought in is yeah, Patrick, can you help me with the next person? Hello.
Yes, hello, sir.
All right. Okay. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Please.
So the next person is Mr. Tranquil, Mr. the Continental
Yes.
Secretary General. He is from Guinea. He's a bilingual person, and we decided to do this because we wanted to have bilingual people within our mainstream to ensure that we'll be able to communicate to the entire people, especially the Francophone people, that the Francophone countries are very, very committed on this drive. So join me to congratulate and welcome Mr. Tranquil of Guinea, Conakry. Congratulations, Mr. Tranquil. You're welcome on your new post. All right, okay. And also we had new callings, that's international callings for that will be supporting UNAD as international partners and supporters or guidance or advisors. Of course, we also had Mr. Lloyd Hilferting as a mentor, an international mentor, and a representative for UnityNet Africa and Diaspora. So congratulations to Mr. Lloyd. Of course, we're going to formally announce your new position. And we also have Stephanie, who has also joined us as a program stroke project advisor at continental level. So she will be in charge of all programs and projects that UnityNet Africa, all over Africa, will be doing in Africa. She will be the international expert to support the process of mainstreaming and ensure that we have vital returns or we transparency and accountability. Is another person we had was Mr. Mark from Carbon Shot. Yeah, he has been elected to be the international financial advisor, of which now he has really that particular advice, really, that particular position in this way. I just want you to, sorry, Mark. Okay, so his new position is advisor or regenerative economic development. That is his new position. So congratulations to Mr. Mark as he formally joined us to support the process of UNAD. And so on this note, we expecting to have a very strong, powerful, for the first time, UNAD and UNI, that is UnityNet Africa and Diaspora, and UnityNet International will be having its formal first global meeting Tuesday. So therefore, on that day, we're going to discuss a lot of international programs that will be coordinating between Africa and UnityNet International, and how also we will be able to coordinate and collaborate with our partners in Africa and also the globe. That exactly is going to happen. So we are moving slowly. Slowly we are moving. So for now, these are the announcements. So if there's any other thing, maybe at the tail end of this meeting, we're going to come back to bring it up. So I want to once again thank you and thanks to everybody. Over to you, Julie.
Okay. Thank you, and thank you, Continental President, Dr. Carlos, and I'd like to congratulate everyone who's now on board in making UnityNet Africa and Diaspora a success. And we believe that a strong foundation has been set by the team that has been led by Dr. Carlos, and that going forward, everything will now just get better and stronger. And we congratulate everyone. And we believe everyone, I guess, including myself, we will be able to add value in actually making UnityNet African Diaspora a success in order to change the lives of people on the continent. At this stage, without further ado, this is when we ask people to introduce themselves. any new people, you know, like according to African culture, when you come to someone's house, before you even get into the house or you even go through the gate, you have to introduce yourself. In Zulu, it says zazise. So there's an opportunity for everyone who's new to please maybe raise your hand and then introduce yourself. Nonetheless, I might have to go through the list and see any unfamiliar names, but I might get it wrong because I'm not as good as the Secretary General who knows everyone that well. But for now, anyone who's new, please raise your hand, introduce yourself, the country you come from, and maybe organization, and possibly also who invited you. I think that also helps. Okay, thank you.
Madam Juliet, it seems that there is no new member today. All these members I see on the list are already members. Maybe if I'm wrong or right on that, but I can't see a new member here today. I don't know. Thanks.
Okay, I'm seeing somebody like SS MSULALLAUY. Are you a new person? This one looks strange to me. It looks new to me. All right, Juliet, you go ahead, and so
Okay.
maybe, yeah.
Yes, I also saw that name. Unless he's not new. Sir, are you able to introduce yourself? SS, what's the surname? SS Suli. Okay.
Okay, maybe you go ahead. Yes.
All right. No, let's continue.
Yeah.
I'm not able to see. Okay, I see Mr. Patrick Nkoma is with us, so he's on standby to present. But I guess at this stage, according to the agenda, sorry, I am multitasking here.
Yeah, we discuss about the tree planting.
Or would you like us to go straight to the tree planting?
No, yeah, remember what I supposed to do presentation, but because it's not, so we are replacing the tree planting discussion. And so,
okay.
What do you think was the best?
Okay. No,
can we do the presentations?
Yeah, we can do the presentations because the presentations are supposed to be brief, not more than 20 minutes. And then we can go into the detailed presentation of tree planting, which will take a lot of engagement. Maybe we can go through the presentations.
No problem. I agree.
Okay.
Let's go.
Yes.
Right.
So I also wanted to, and maybe you can see that I sent a message there to say I apologize because my phone battery now is not in a position to do the presentation now because we also have blackouts here. So I don't know if we can actually you can remove me from the presenters of today until maybe next meeting. Thank you.
Okay. I was about to say well noted, but I guess it is noted. At this stage, what it then means is because I'm supposed to present as well, I must now quickly try and share my screen. But Mr. Nkoma, did you not want to give a summary? I mean, I believe we all know our work, were you not wanting to give a summary or a gist of what you were going to present, or did it need to be projected?
Come again, please. Sorry.
I wanted to ask whether, seeing that the president is not presenting and you don't have your presentation, are you not able to give a summary or a gist of your presentation? I believe we all more or less know our work, or does it need to be projected formally?
Okay, that's no problem. I can actually share, actually briefly share the presentation. Even though, as I said, I also use the phone now. I sent the presentation already with Madam Jane, so I expected that maybe today when I'm doing the presentation, she'll be able to also help me with the screening as usual. So I will try to just brief the contents of the and the contents of the other presentation.
Well,
If
can
maybe
you send the presentation to someone else that could share your screen for you or not?
Okay, no problem. I can share the presentation now.
That would be a good idea. How do you have the presentation? Where can you, how can you, where will you be sharing it?
Yeah, so I share to you or to someone else?
Share to Andrew because
Andrew. Okay,
yeah, share to
so
Andrew.
yeah, so
Well,
on
okay.
WhatsApp?
Yeah, WhatsApp if you want me to share my screen, or I'm basically just here to provide the hosting service, so that would really be Juliet or someone else, but I'll assist you if you don't have any other options.
Yes,
All right
please,
then.
Andrew.
Yeah. So Henry, can you do that?
If I think you have my email or WhatsApp, and then you can send it to me, and then I can do the necessary
Okay.
to.
Or
So
the
that's
WhatsApp,
fine.
or the group, or the Africa UnityNet Diaspora WhatsApp group where everyone can see the presentation. Anyone then can
Yeah,
share it.
send it there. Send it there.
Yes,
Send it
yes, I think. All right, I'll do it now.
I'm
As
sending
you
it to
are
you.
doing it, yeah. So as you are doing it, maybe Juliet, you can go ahead and do your presentation whilst he is packing himself.
But let me know
Right.
when you want me to begin streaming if you want it streamed.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, Juliet, go ahead.
Now, on my part, I also need to share my screen. So we also don't want to have dead silence. So I'm then thinking for meantime,
Well, excuse me, before we before we begin streaming, I'll replay or I'll share my screen with the UnityNet Diaspora logo that we begin with. So just let me know when you want me to do that, and I'll do so. Otherwise, anyone here can share their screen.
Okay. Dr. Carlos.
Yeah, go ahead.
I am suggesting while we all trying to share screens that if you can facilitate maybe for people to just briefly introduce themselves, because we don't have that many people, and then we can always continue at the end, because between myself and
Okay,
Patrick.
you are still preparing?
Yes, I'm trying to share my screen.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Is anybody that is new that may introduce his or herself? I'm not sure. I think everybody. So, Mr. Newma, thank you. You want to say something about your new your new post, your new position? You want to say a word to all of us?
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Just want to thank everyone here. I'm so pleased for being on board at the continental level. So it's something that I really appreciate. And I pray to God that strengthens me, that I can really handle the position as doing the mandate. So I greet everybody, and then I will appreciate the idea. And that's all. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome on board, Mr. Tranquil. We know that you're going to make a good representation for the Francophonie.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Juliet, are you ready?
I am.
You're still?
Yes,
Okay.
and I use the program that is Patrick not anywhere being ready?
Patrick, are you ready? Can we start to discuss about the tree planting?
Okay.
Yes, of course. I sent the presentation already on the forum, but now I'm also reading the message from Henrik that I can actually also share the presentation to him. Henrik, I think I can share. I can forward the one to him. But already it's on the platform on the WhatsApp forum, United African Diaspora.
Okay, so this is again, I want to remind people. The last time we've been saying this, that anytime you're going to do presentation, please send the presentations ahead of time so that we'll be able to package them and share them to people that will be able to present them on time to help to facilitate. This is very, very key. We know sometimes we face struggles with our devices and with the internet and all this one. So that's why if you do it ahead of time, it will help all of us. It will also ease your stress and all of us. So on this note, I want us to start discussing about the tree planting. So let me talk about the tree planting plan for UnityNet Africa and Diaspora. And before now, tree planting in Africa. And so therefore, we have gone so far to develop a concept.
Yes, let me use on Zoom.
Hello? Almami, yes, sorry, I had a call that came in. Okay. So we developed a concept to plant 2 billion trees, of which that should have been a multiple bigger projects or mega projects for UnityNet Africa and Diaspora. But because we are still going through to legalize ourselves in all the chapters or the countries we are, and especially as UnityNet Africa and Diaspora at continental level in Uganda, Kampala, we're still going through the process of legalizing UnityNet Africa and Diaspora. And so therefore, we have not been able to secure a formal funding support to support that particular project. And so therefore, we ask that at country level, at chapter level. Hello. Hello, can I go ahead?
Yes,
So we
please,
agreed
please go
that-
ahead. I'll mute myself.
Yes, at country level, at chapter level, we should today discuss what we can do to ensure that we observe the International Environmental Day, which is going to be on the 5th of June. And we are few weeks away from that one. And so therefore, so primarily, especially countries who have never participated in such an activity to promote tree planting, and especially the one UnityNet Africa and also UnityNet International is promoting, the trees of peace and reconciliation planting. That's what we want to focus again this time, since we have not been able to secure funding to support the process. And so therefore, today is to tell partners in various countries in Africa to ensure that you can go to or partner with any of the local institutions that are working in agriculture, promoting agriculture, especially tree planting programs or projects in your country. Partners like the Ministry of Agriculture, the government sector, and also the Ministry of Environmental and Sanitation, etc., and also other international organizations that are working on promoting tree planting business. So all these ones, so we want to discuss today, look at the various chapters. How you want to do it? How you want to do it, in relation to all this one. So remember, this is a symbolic tree planting promotion. It is something like a sacred thing that we are trying to demonstrate to our people, that will symbolize peace, unity. That's exactly what we want to promote. And so therefore, Sierra Leone started this last year in collaboration with Canada. And so therefore, other countries too, now that with us, we're going to join this particular platform to ensure that we have those symbolic trees in your community. You can choose a tree that is symbolic of peace and reconciliation that you can do. On that day, you can choose a time that is favorable for you to do the planting, and also an arable location that you think that one will happen. And then the community, you have to ensure that the community where you are going to plant that tree or those trees should take ownership of those trees to ensure that they promote their security and survival. At the end of the day, we want them to use those trees, just like what I said, as a places of where they can sit down to discuss their development programs. They reconcile themselves to promote development in their community. That's exactly the local. And so, so as we are preparing to finalize our legalization system, so then of course, by next year, maybe we might have gotten funding partners that will be promoting the larger tree planting projects that we have now. So from now onwards, we'll be looking for possible partners to support that process. So today is also an announcement to our global partners, to all the partners. Please, we want our partners to come on board to support the process of promoting this tree planting. It's very, very much important, it's significant for all of us to ensure that Mother Earth gets its normalcy again. And thank you. So I want to leave it for now, and it's open for us to discuss how we can do it. For instance, in Kenya, Madam Susan has a lot of experience around this. She's an expert, and other places also in Ghana, and of course, South Africa, etc., etc. So what we think we're going to do and how are we going to do it? So this discussion is going to capture within 40 minutes and so far. Thank you. Let's go ahead.
Yes, at this stage, we'll take discussions on the issues raised by Dr. Carlos, yeah, regarding tree planting and any questions of clarity. Do you think we can have input from members of the project's team who are here, who may want to either comment and also say what this means in terms of where we are with the tree planting project? Hendrik, sorry to pick on you. There could be someone else on your team that you may want to pick on to contribute.
Well, if you're being picked on, you're being picked on. So what can you do?
Sorry, my fellow brother from South Africa.
I think that, you know, as Carlos has very clearly stated, we are talking about two things here. We are talking about the ceremonial tree planting event that is scheduled for sometime in June or July. I don't know what's the exact date now, so I don't want to quote the date. And then, of course, there is the big tree planting effort that we are going to have in Africa to plant many millions of trees. And there we've developed a project plan where we are going to link up with the community-based organizations, with the UnityNet representatives in the different countries, the faith groups, and society in broad to affect the tree planting. Obviously, we will have to come up with some more strategies with the specific countries to have the right varieties and species of plants that we're going to propagate for those countries, so that we are sure that the trees are growing. And of course, there's also the element of focusing on trees with economic value. You know, from trees we can get fruits, nuts, we can get the wood, we can get fodder for our animals, and there's several systems that works in several biospheres in Africa very successfully, that we will propagate and communicate properly through the different organizations in the different countries. But I think the one of the main things that we need to get into place now is you know, we all want to participate in this international event to plant trees, or a tree which will affect many trees in Africa on a ceremonial basis to show our cooperation and solidarity with the rest of the world to address poverty and to address the global problems of global warming and so forth. Thank you.
Thank you, Hendrik. At least you've highlighted the implications and the importance of this project. Dr. Carlos, I know you also touched on the fact that we never applied for funding. I don't know if anyone from not just the finance or what other approaches are there towards making sure that a certain, maybe we might not be able to do it at the same extent as we had intended, How else? What is the best approach?
Yes, Madam
Okay.
Juliet.
That is a good question, Patrick. So let me just say this before you able to understand. Before now, confusion understanding the two projects. The project that we developed, the concept is that is a mega project that is focused in reforesting Mother Earth. And that is a big project that involves a lot of resources and everything what you think about it, and global interventions to ensure that it is sustainable at the end of the day. So as I mentioned earlier, because we are still in the lineage of legalizing, finalizing the legalization of UnityNet Africa and Diaspora in Kampala. So we shared the project concept with partners, but the questions that are coming in terms of due diligence or compliance system required us for us to go through the process and ensure that it is complete. We all know what I'm saying. We are all projectors, and we know in terms of implementing a project and the acquiring stage what it means, and onto having a project and to implement, more especially a project that involves a bigger or mega amount of resources involved and partnership. So that one is not going to happen now. Already we've shared the concept with some partners. And so those are the questions. Hello. Hello.
Yes, continue, Dr. Carlos.
Hello?
Okay, I saw an interruption. Okay, so that is one sector of it. So in the area of people expecting to implement that mega project as it was initially planned, we might have completed the process of legalization of UnityNet Africa and Diaspora. And so since up to now is still on the course, so that is where we are for now. And thank God now we have a vibrant and a very strong, powerful continental board that is going to look into how soon we can complete that particular process. So we're going to have a next meeting very soon in terms of all those other areas, important areas to be addressed. And so the second aspect of it is about June 5th, which is World Environmental Day. It's a day every country on earth supposed to observe according to the UN system, declares an international day for environmental safety or environmental promotion. So therefore, as UnityNet Africa and Diaspora, we are part of the global network. So therefore, we're going to join our partners on that day to demonstrate tree planting. But for us, we are going to use or promote what we call the trees of peace and reconciliation. In your community, for instance, you should, after this meeting, go there and rally the community people and mobilize them and sensitize them the essence of promoting peace and reconciliation in community. And normally in our traditional settings, our people love trees. They like sitting under trees. And also in the days of the warriors in Africa, like the cotton tree is a significant tree to demonstrate any community that's a place where the warriors sit and recess or reconcile with other partners. It is a history core or history node in Africa. So some other countries have other trees they use to signify that. All right. So for instance, in Sierra Leone, the cotton trees are symbolic for peace and reconciliation and development, because these are trees that when you plant them and they grow, they take like 1,000 years, they will be there. And so these are long-term trees that will be there, that will be serving generations. So remember, if you plant that grows that tree, if it is not cut, it will going to benefit generation. And that is exactly the goal. You can also choose
Dr. Carlos, you're breaking a little bit.
to use other trees like fruit orchards to promote welcome. If you want to do it in your hello.
Can hear you, Dr. Carlos,
Hello?
but you were breaking a little bit, but we can hear you.
All right, okay, thank you. So to conclude in that area is for us all to join this International Day to demonstrate these trees that we are going to plant. And finally, what we expect of you to do whilst you plant or you're planting those trees is to ensure that you GPS those trees. Please collect the coordinates of those trees, the type of tree that you plant, the community where you plant the tree. Are you getting me? Or
You
so
broke.
when you plant the tree, when you plant the tree you planting that tree, and you take the coordinates of the tree where you are planting the tree. So at the end of the day, then we will ensure that we update it on Google.
We've lost you again, Dr. Carlos.
So that we have a matrix of all. So that's my submission. Sorry for the obstruction is network. So that's my submission.
Thank you, Dr. Carlos. I see there's some comments on the chat box. I see Edgar. Do you want to comment, Edgar, based on your comment on the chat box?
Yes. Edgar is saying a good presentation, but I'm breaking. Let me say that again, that in every country, you can choose the type of trees that you want to promote on the International Day of Tree Planting, World Environmental Day. So what we need from you is ensure that the community take ownership of those trees for sustainability so that they will take care of them. That's one. Number two, ensure that you know the community, the name of the community, the location where the tree is or the trees are going to be planted, and you GPS those trees and send the coordinates to us plus all that information so that we'll be able to Google all this information at the end of the day. Thank you.
At this point, thank you, Dr. Carlos. At this point, are there any comments, points of clarity? I see Joshua, are you?
Juliet, I just want to make sure that is there a single date, international date to do this, or are we going to stick to the Arbor Days that's already being published in the different countries?
I don't get the question clear. I didn't get what you're saying clear.
Well, what I'm saying is that there is tree planting days scheduled in South Africa, for instance. Are we going to, in South Africa, link up with those days, or are we going to have a separate day for this that will be part of the global, which is a global date or what?
If I may say, because in South Africa it's on the 9th of August.
Yes, the 9th of August is Arbor Day in South Africa.
Okay, so what I also want us to understand, we have our country national planting or tree planting days, of course, even in Sierra Leone and in West Africa. But the World Environmental Day is an international day for every country to ensure that Mother Earth is protected. And so therefore, we agreed that we use that day to promote tree planting. So I believe even partners, even at local level, they are like Minister of Agriculture and other partners, or the Minister of Environment. I don't know the way you call it in your country. You may also join in partnership, or you can decide to do it in a low queue. Just go to any community where you are working or where you are. Maybe you demonstrate that one. You take pictures of all what is going on and tell people the essence of what you are doing.
Okay, I think. Okay, I think that is clear. And yeah, it's just a matter of collaborating, and even if it's not a tree planting season, but I think it's also more the symbolism, and then we can still use Arbor Day to continue, because I think it's more the symbolism of that day. I see Samson, please go ahead. Samson Oloch, please continue. Samson, your hand is raised. Did you want to say something? Okay. All right. His hand is raised, but he's not able to speak. Unless I'm missing anyone else. Is there anyone else who wants to comment? Please just go ahead. Okay. Dr. Carlos?
For me, I want people to really comment. Let's discuss about this because it has been a serious concern about the tree planting proposed, how it's going to happen, what we think we're going to do. So I want us to discuss about it, but this is the picture. Ayodele's hand is up.
Okay, I see Ayodele's hand is up. Please go ahead, Bishop Ayodele.
Okay, good evening. Thank you for this meeting and with the issue for the deliberation for so long. Now that we don't have any fund to pilot the initial takeoff of this tree plantation project, because to me, I'm expecting that if we are going to do this project, there must be, because in each country, it must be something, because this is our first UnityNet African Diaspora project, which needs to be captured, put on the social media, maybe on our, maybe WhatsApp, whatever, or Facebook, but there must be something, a symbol, either having a UnityNet African Diaspora T-shirt or banner to at least to indicate that the organization that is doing this project is, I mean, to show the names of the organization doing the project and the purpose of that project, because this is not just about planting tree. The tree plantation is a symbol of peace and reconciliation, which is supposed to reflect either in the banner or the T-shirt or the face cap that we are going to put on. So now I don't know how this one is going to be possible. Within short of time locally to run this project. Are you hearing me clearly?
We are able to hear you. You were muted briefly, but we did hear you. But can you?
Yes, I was saying that as we are. I was talking about either having a banner that we indicate what we are doing. You know, the issue of the tree plantation is not just about planting a tree. It has a symbol. So which is supposed to reflect in our banner or in T-shirts that we are going to use for the tree plantation. At least it's like an awareness. Is a tree planting for peace and reconciliation. So my opinion is that if we are going to do all these things within, we have just like 2 or 3 weeks to start the project, to do that. So how are we going to be able to do that, because in the absence of fund? So that is my question.
I don't know whether, Dr. Carlos, you want to comment on that? But I also wanted to ask if people like Mark, are they not able to assist at this stage? If that's a possibility. Thank you, Dr. Carlos. Continue, please.
And I'm not seeing Mark, Lloyd, and Stephanie. I'm not seeing them here. The representatives for you and I. The one that we did last year, we didn't actually requested for funds to do that. That is at global level. So what we did in Sierra Leone, what we did within our own organizations, we funded the process, and we have the number of trees, about 10 to 15 trees that were planted at that time, and symbolically demonstrated. So that was the way we did it. And the funding process I'm talking about is like, maybe you use your vehicle to move to, or your motorbike or your bicycle to go to the location. And after noticing the community people are there, maybe you are coming from a distance, you join them, or you are within the same community, something like that. So what you're saying is significant, the issue of notification. That's one I call it communication, all right? To showcase, to show who is there and what you are doing. It's very, very significant. Of course, the issue of T-shirt, or maybe a cap, a banner, those are all important domains, you know, but I'm not sure we have our funding at global level. For now, at UNA level, I'm not sure. Provided maybe sometimes, for now, Julia just start to suggest our global partners, maybe they can come in to support, to do something. But if we want them to do something, we should be able to come up with a small concept of what we want them to come in. That's very, very clear. So if you're going to tell somebody, okay, I want to do a banner, I mean, and then the person may want to help you to do the banner, even if not the entire banner, you have to draw your case, a concept, to show what you can do and what is expected from the partner. And so for me, that one is very important. Even though we have 3 more weeks to do that, but I think because maybe it is a small fund or so, we can draw a concept and share it to partners and develop a crowd fund. We can also talk to Andrew, who is here, who is coordinating and supporting, and is a brother, and plus Lisa also is here, and others, you know, Queen Mother, Prophet Cox, Mark, Stephanie, Lloyd, and including ourselves, we are all here. So let's talk about this and let's see if it is possible or what we can do best. But it is a very good observation around that. If we are able to do it, it's going to be a very good intervention, you know, in terms of UnityNet as our first intervention and showing what we are doing. Even if it is 1 tree, it's important. Thank you.
Okay, noted. And I'm glad you emphasized that even ourselves, that means we can actually look at our corporates. Asi Mohammed, his hand is up.
Let me, can you allow me to?
Is that you, Ayodele?
Respond to a doctor. Yeah.
Yes.
Number one, I want to remember that this tree plantation is an initiative right from the global level. It is it's an idea brought by Mr. Carlos, which was sold to us that we should have a tree plantation for peace and reconciliation in Africa, which we embrace. And I wish we thought that for some times we have been talking about it. It's only that we left the discussion out of maybe for no reason, and we have not been discussing about it until when the date or the time season is approaching now. Being the first project to be executed by the UnityNet African Diaspora, it is not something we can just do without being a remarkable event. Remember, there was a time we talked about make it a ceremonial. If I remember in one of our present discussion, we cannot, we still need, even though if we are not, if it is not a lot of money, if it is not, because we still need to see what we can do to make a t-shirt or banner in order for us to be able to, because it is an awareness. It's another means of awareness about the UnityNet African Diaspora in each country. The one you did in Sierra Leone, as you said last year, that one is being done. It maybe that time, maybe in the name of your organization or UnityNet Sierra Leone, but this one now is a project which bring us together in all the continent, that as we'll be doing it in Uganda, we'll be doing it in Sierra Leone, in Ghana, in Kenya, and some other part of the country, in South Africa, in Malawi, and so on and so forth. So even today, the director in Congo called me asking me the same thing about the project of the tree plantation. So people are so much expecting. So I think it is good either because we'll be having meeting tomorrow with the Unite. So I think it is good to also be part of our discussion tomorrow. How are we going to do that in order to see that we have a successful outing that day? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Bishop Adel. Sorry, I'm having feedback. Can Mohammed continue, please? I see his hand is still raised.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Good morning and good afternoon from everywhere. I am Mohamed Sanko from Guinea. I thank everyone for the contributions concerning the tree planting process. Yeah, of course, a month ago, this was discussed, and even in our physical meeting here, we discussed it one day, and things like this came up, of having t-shirts being symbolic is very, very good, but also having something as publicity is also remarkable. Very, very remarkable. So people came with questions like this: are we going to have t-shirts? Are we going to have this and that? These things are not that much expensive. Yeah, but looking at the time from now to the 5th, the time is very close. I am with Mr. Ayodele, Professor Ayodele, that is really emphasizing on making this thing be very, very symbolic, and also as a measure of publicity for UnityNet African Diaspora. Rightly saying that last year it was probably only Sierra Leone, but if this year we have several countries, at least something like a union should happen. While it is happening in Sierra Leone, happening in Guinea, happening in Congo, RDC, happening in Uganda, and all parts of Africa and the world entirely, there should be a unified something that can really promote UnityNet Africa and Diaspora that day as the first time being an international program. So I thank you, and I also agree with having a discussion of this tomorrow at that Unite meeting. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Mohammed. So for clarity, what is the meeting? Which meeting specifically? Tomorrow's meeting?
Yeah, tomorrow's meeting is going to be
Tomorrow's meeting is going to be the board of UNIT and UNITE. They will be meeting tomorrow to discuss all these global issues as a melting point. So it is very important that tomorrow is going to be one of the key issues that we are going to discuss in relation to the submissions that are very, very important. And for me, they are key in terms of making ourselves visible. If we say we are in Africa, people, and we are in our countries, people should start to see us. They should start to see reality. And of course, one aspect of it is by when you get a t-shirt written as UNIT, that will be symbolic. You have a banner, that is symbolic, etc. So that one is very, very key. So let us discuss this one tomorrow, of course, as board. And so Juliet, please take note of it. That is going to be one of the major issues that we're going to discuss.
Okay, noted. And also, can we please give the email address of UNET so that if anyone wants to submit, to give a submission, that can help us for tomorrow's discussion. Dr. Kaluski or Mr. Adele, can you please give us the email address, just in case people have specific recommendations, then they can email their recommendations before tomorrow's meeting.
Yes, I'm going to share the email address. So please take it and so everyone can share it next time.
Okay. At this point, I see there are a few hands raised, but I think they were all, I see Okite, your hand is up. Muhammad, I think yours is an old hand. Please put it down. Mr. Okite, you can go ahead.
Yes, thank you everyone to this meeting. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where we are. I see the discussion so good so far. I was of the opinion maybe a budget would help us, maybe country specific, so that we know if it is a t-shirt based on the contribution, maybe that the members are able to. But however, I have this submission to make. In the Ugandan context right now, the political phenomena seems not to be so good for us. And people seem to be trying to vie for positions, and our government currently, we may be at risk in relation to having the UnityNet maybe logo or banners moving along with, because they will ask us, who are you? And you're talking about UnityNet African diaspora. That means we have some connections outside the country that they may assume we want to do something political, since we shall be mobilizing. I have the opinion, if maybe we are to do the tree planting, maybe we shall be able to use the respective organizations that are legally registered, that are known by the community, because our community, our leaders in Uganda seem not to be knowing the UnityNet because we are not legally registered. And I don't want to pose a lot of risk and maybe threat to those ones who may be wanting to participate in this activity. So I was of the opinion, is it acceptable for maybe like Okiri Ambrose, who is working for Village Synergy, is known by the community, we have been working. Can we support, do that tree planting? Then we report as a partner organization to UnityNet. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Okute. That's a very powerful suggestion and recommendation. And I always talk about compliance system or the due diligence process is very, very key. And so you just reminded us in relation to this one. As we are very, very much enthusiastic to ensure that we have ourselves demonstrated things in where we are, it is also important for us to note that we are still in the process of legalizing ourselves. All right. Though, as you're saying, Mr. Opite, the Uganda, the USRRB, I don't know if it is the correct acronym, approved the first registration.
The registration of URSB.
Yeah, they approved our first registration. And so that one is there. The only problem, we had some concerns around the administration around it. That is the issue around it. But the first registration has been approved by the URIC in Uganda. So I think we are there already in their archive that were in existence in Uganda. So therefore, I don't think it's an issue, but it's not, because it's not complete yet. All right. But also what you said is very true. So those partners who are legally registered there can champion this behalf of UnityNet, Africa and Diaspora in that country, and also the chapter. They join together to grace this occasion. There's also going to be another discussion whilst we are discussing tomorrow the two partners whilst we are discussing. Hello, Juliet, are you there?
See, Prophet Anyau's hand is up.
Yeah.
And before she continues, Adela, you need to say something about the certificate, or you're just confirming that we do have the certificate?
It's okay for the certificate is there. The only thing, the certificate
the issue of certificate is there, but it's good as he raised that motion because of some of the, let's look at some of the other countries which have not been registered, and let's look at what we can do, because still, we not want a situation where the symbol and the name of UnityNet will be missed out. We can say that the UnityNet African Diaspora Tree of Peace Plantation in collaboration with a particular organization. If we are going to use one organization, for example, in one country, let it be the one organization that is registered, so that at least whatever we want to do must carry the name of UnityNet African Diaspora. If you go to see, because we are not registered in Kenya or in Sierra Leone or in Nigeria, can now be in collaboration with a partner. Any come to Uganda, when it comes to with URSB that you have secured the name, so URSB is representing the government of Uganda. So it's not that if we can use a collaboration organization, but it must be UnityNet African Diaspora in collaboration. So that does not miss out.
I think that's a very wise idea. And I think that's quite clear and quite wise that it can be done in conjunction with a registered organization. Obviously, we need to also make the country chapter aware which organization is that, so that it's also a credible organization that has no scandals. At this stage, if it's fine, can I take Prophet Anyanyu? Do you want to continue, Prophet?
Go ahead.
Yeah, and that was beneficial to me in terms of getting clear on it because I'm still understanding. I had one question, but then I had a couple of simple suggestions, but I realized when the bishop spoke that there's some legal pieces to go with it. But let me put this out anyway. I guess since it's an international initiative, and if the funds are not there for everyone to get T-shirts and all that, so it's unifying. What we do around Community Healing Days is we have a unifying color wherever people are in the world. And so even having that, our shirts, dresses, whatever, all the same color. So just having a unifying color. We also have youth who can make banners and all that. Everyone has cell phones these days, so they can video. And I was addressing the media piece, but I understand too the legal piece. We don't have a way typically to control if someone says that they're doing a community healing day and they're not legal. But so that's sort of at your level of leadership in terms of how to manage that, even with Black Lives Matter, how you manage that part of it. But there tend to be some simple unifying things that at least can let the world know that it's happening. I have a question that I'm not clear on, and that's the reconciliation piece of it. Is it reconciling back to the earth? Is it between people? So say, for instance, if I'm sharing it with somebody else, what would I say the meaning of that piece of it is?
Well, was that clear? Does anyone want to respond to that? Because there were very specific suggestions that Dr. Nyao gave us, Prophet. So in terms of maybe just people wearing the same colors without necessarily having to go and print, because it's all about the symbolism and actually making it happen. So in terms of the other question that raised,
pardon me, Juliet, and also the banner. We have young people in schools and all that, and sometimes they can do they have printing places in some of the universities. So it might be possible to I've even made some for church by hand with real elaborate symbols on them. So some of that in the cell phone, TikTok, all that's possible to get it out to the world. But again, going back to my question about I just wanted to make sure that was my little list that for your consideration, but the meaning that I can share reconciliation with who for what?
Okay, Dr. Carlos, do you want to touch on that, or should I speak on that?
Well, of course, let me say something. Maybe you can also say more, of course. What we all understand, the issue of peace, the significance of peace in any society, and even at home, the importance of peace in our communities. So unity from our name symbolizes peace. So therefore, what we want to tell people is to reflect their minds, as Prophet Cox is saying, that the issue of healing. And so trees are a representation of healers. We all know about it. Either you take it, whatever shape or form you take it, or even if you sit under it, is also healing. Remember, because if it is hot, you are under a hot burning sun, you know the pain you are going through. But if you are under a tree, a shady tree that has fine branches or leaves, so many branches or leaves, when you're there, you can have peace, you can have, your life comes back, you have hope. There's hope for you always. So in our communities or wherever you plant that tree is to tell the people that realizing peace an example.
If I'm understanding you, then the tree that's planted
In
wherever
our
it's planted.
community in Sierra Leone, in our village, to go under the trees. The benches.
Continue, Dr. Carlos. You are breaking a little bit. I think your network is failing, but continue if you are talking, maybe we're able to pick up. And then Professor Nyanyu needs a follow-up comment, has a follow-up comment. And
It's just real brief, Juliet, that what he's saying, I'm kind of getting the gist of it. I'm just hoping that
a tree of peace that's in the community that talk about their issues and resolve them. So that is it. So it's very important for us in Africa, and I believe too, also in the US and the other parts of the world.
Okay,
So
Prophet
just-
Anyan, you can make your comment, and then
Yeah,
I'm
just real quick.
maybe 1 or 2 points.
It just really quick, I think it's good, as he's explaining it, it makes a lot of sense. It has that kind of touchy-feely, kind of feel good. I guess I would like to see it somewhere though. So if I see a tree that was planted, I know that it symbolizes, it stands like a monument. It stands like a, you know, like the monuments that go up, that stands for peace and reconciliation between people, and it's working toward healing of humanity or something, some one sentence that maybe would go on a website or a Facebook page or something that symbolizes the day. That's, you know, until I asked that question, it makes a lot of sense. I just didn't get it until he said it. Thank you.
Okay. No, thank you. I don't think I need to add more because I think it's quite clear. I just wanted to give an example. For instance, in a case like where in South Africa or in Soweto, where you have within a community you've got fractions, it is always suggested that we also involve faith-based communities, and obviously with communities. If you have representatives from the one group with another, for instance, we have problems with the Sotho foreign nationals and with the locals. So if you have a representative from another group coming in with members of the other community and they plant a tree, which actually symbolize or a monument of saying we'll coexist, we'll live together. So the tree planting can also be based on whatever issues of peace and reconciliation that each community has or feels is significant at that particular time, because there's no uniform in terms of what the issues are. But as you suggested, I do believe that Prophet Ayodele and myself, the bishop, should possibly write out a statement that can clarify, that can go out there so that we understand what the monument stands for. Okay, thank you.
Yes, and I just want to say, I think that'll draw in some other people, because you're right, there are people planting trees, but if they know that they may not be on that day, they're not part of this organization, but they still may at least have a purpose that they can cling on to. I think that'll be great. So thank you.
If it's fine, I don't think there are any more comments at this stage, but we'll give feedback based on the meeting that is held tomorrow. Dr. Carlos, is it okay that I move? I guess I'm the only one left to present because Patrick ran out of power. For the sake of time, can I just quickly do a presentation? Doctor?
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Yes. I'm using a different device now. All right. Let me. It shouldn't take long. So just 1 minute. Oh, so, okay, let me open the actual presentation. Okay. Okay. Good evening. So I have a feedback because I have two devices open, but everyone can see the screen.
Yes, I can see it.
Okay.
I can see it with a cough.
Okay. Maybe let me move from the other device because I'm getting feedback. All right. Yes, good evening. My name is Julie. As a representative for research must introduce ourselves. The presentation is basically a invitation for participation for UnityNet African Diaspora. We have the oncoming Africa Day.
This is
but in the
Juliet.
meantime, I'll just go through the slides. Yes.
Juliet, yes, if you
Yes.
if you mute your sound on one of your devices, you won't have that feedback.
Juliet, if you can have one device, if you can have one device, and maybe you mute the other device.
Yeah, you mute it.
Phone.
Yes.
Just
Okay.
mute it.
Wait. Yes, no, thank you. And I've had to move away from it. Thank you. Let me go. Okay. So what we are proposing is a virtual event in a theme. If you look at what is happening currently in the world with the war, with all the globally, I mean, the world is looking at possibly even going back to a COVID situation, lockdown. So there are a lot of not so positive news out there in the world. And we just came out of a very difficult period, or we are trying to come out of a difficult period of lockdown. So with all that is happening, there's very little to celebrate. So what we are looking at is actually a celebration in terms of Africa Day. And as you can see there, we are looking at partnering. So we wouldn't be doing it on our own. We'll be partnering. It will be in partnership with an organization that has been doing this for a while. But I will go straight to the slides and it will be, we'll unpack it. And the whole idea is that we participate as UnityNet African Diaspora, but focusing on individual countries and organizations within those countries. Okay. What we are looking at in terms of Africa Day in 2022 is hopefully we can have a display of an African human experience through song and dance. We all know that with tourism and other aspects that attract tourists to our different countries, there's always an element of animals, there's the safari, there's the mountains that attract people to our countries. But also normally what tends to happen is the human element tends to be missed out. And we feel that we are proposing that we display that through song and dance using the Africa Month, or specifically Africa Day. I don't know whether Queen Nina is on here, but Queen Nina has been running an event for a while called One Africa USA. She didn't do it, understand, last year, but going on the success and building on the success of the event that she had, what it is, it's a 3-day conference where there are different conversations, discussions, and themes. And a lot of the themes that are discussed there are those of people of African descent, and where they deal with the issues of slavery, they deal with issues of youth, there are various aspects that are dealt with. obviously this year she'll be building on the success of 2020's event. So what in my discussion and our discussion when she approached AHIABGA television regarding the event, we then realized that no, because we were also looking at doing something as Africa, UnityNet African Diaspora, it makes sense that we partner with her, seeing that she already has established a legacy of building and developing, and she has a particular following. At some point, I think she had over, if I'm not, did she say 200? She had over 200, if not 2,000 participants who would come in at various times into the event. And I think this would be another good platform to launch Africa UNET in partnership, and also using what is very relevant for us as Africa, using Africa Day. So there you see her transmedia logo, which is our organization, and looking at Gemma Production, which is my organization, because we also specialize in securing performances and music rights. And because with the proposal that we have in mind, we might have to look at helping people to secure rights to play certain music, to play certain videos for this particular event. Okay. My screen has kicked me out, but okay, I'll just give a bit of background. Okay. Africa Unity Day is also known as Africa Day, which is celebrated annually on the 25th of May. It commemorates the founding of the Organization of African Unity, which is the OAU, on this day in 1963. It is a statutory holiday for several countries, such as the Gambia, Mali, Namibia, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. Unfortunately, in South Africa, it's not a public holiday. I wish it were. And then on the 25th of May, 1963, the leaders of 30 independent states of Africa signed a founding charter in Addis Ababa. The Organization for African Unity, the OAU, was created to help to bring about change. Number one, freedom and independence to many African countries. In 1991, the OAU established the African Economic Community, and in 2002, the OAU established its own successor, the African Union, and we all speak of the African Union. And it is important to understand that the day of the 25th of May is also linked to, it's actually the roots that founded the African Union. Since the establishment of the OAU, a further 21 states have joined in, and South Africa was the latest of the 53 member countries. On the 25th, we joined in only in 1994, because that is when we saw the democratic dispensation as a country. Okay. But what is in the name Africa Day? Okay, despite the changes that have happened since 1963, Africa Day still provides an opportunity, number one, to acknowledge the achievements, which is critical. And what I've underlined there, the achievement of the people and the governments of Africa. And I'd like to highlight that we want to acknowledge the achievements of the people, in spite of the problems we've had or that we have as a continent, that as a people, there's a lot to celebrate, especially linked to our culture and our heritage. So I'm just touching on the issue of language, just to show how as Africa, we've managed to overcome some of the challenges that were brought about by colonialism and other forms of hurdles that we've had to deal with. Language, though there's been a lot of changes, but it plays a critical role in actually maintaining our culture. Okay, just a quick one. I'll be quick on this one. 25% of the world's languages are spoken in Africa. Over 2,000 languages are spoken in Africa. There's a huge diversity of languages in our continent, yet English, Portuguese, French, and Arabic remain official languages of most of our countries, except Ethiopia. And then we all know that Europe colonized all of Africa, except Ethiopia and Liberia, which later we know that Liberia was, inverted commas, founded by African Americans in 1847, and then that made English the official language. Ethiopia was not necessarily colonized, but also there's been influences of Italy because there was a point where they conquered Ethiopia. In spite of that, the African usage of language, of song and dance, becomes one of those things that in our heritage and our culture, we can showcase for Africa Day. Because in spite of the history of how we all using English, Portuguese, and French, etc., dance, song, we are still, in our dances and our songs, we are still able to showcase who we are outside the colonization that we have faced as Africa. So what the language of song and dance does, is able to define ourselves in terms of our culture and our ethnic groups, but not in terms of devising, but also celebrating the history of various cultures, and also to say this ethnic group, it's got its history, and also there are aspects that need to be celebrated and do get celebrated in song and dance. So we are suggesting that we also look at not just that aspect, but we also look at issues of geography. I mean, we all know the Ladysmith Black Mambazo. There's a song that they sing that says, homeless, homeless, homeless. You know, particularly that song, it talks about how they're sleeping on the mountains, that they don't have homes, but it emphasizes the mountains and how they sleep in caves. So you have music that actually even describes the geography and the beautiful land. So we can also use that and also showcase that on Africa Day. So as part of our country's arts and culture, we all have those groups, those performances, dancers, singers, who when they sing or when they perform, even in your soul, you are able to connect to them as someone, whether from Guinea or someone from, doesn't matter how Westerners you are or how much you've moved on, but when they perform or sing, you're able to identify with them. And also we then say, if we can showcase those elements of song and dance that actually anchors our community's norms and values. We do have, I mean, for instance, in South Africa, the Basotho, they always sing, a lot of the African languages, the music is all about teaching young people values. It's all about, you know, telling people what is right and what is wrong, but it's various aspects. So we're saying that we can also pull out song and dances that actually commemorate and actually highlight those social norms that we can take forward. So the whole idea of the event is to, have performances that we link to a particular theme. I will also show you how much time we would have at for the actual performances. So it wouldn't be just pulling out a group of people to come and dance with no significance to what it means for the people of the country, because we're celebrating the spirit of humanity, in Africa through song and dance. And that is the whole idea. Okay, I'll move from that. So we're going to we'll be using a three-part approach and underlining the word celebration. Because the whole idea is to create a more, because normally the events that Queen Nina has always had, they have a lot of conversations and dialogue, which is very important. Yet I strongly suggest that we also bring in the other element of who and what really Africa is all about in terms of song and dance, poetry. And in that case, what we are looking at a three-part Africa Day. celebration. She had done it previously in 3 days, but here we're looking at 3-part, and 3-part could be 3-part over 2 days, not necessarily over 3 days, because we also have to look at the time available to put this together, though she
Juliet, we can't hear you.
Juliet, are you there? Juliet, are you there?
She dropped off. Maybe she'll be right back in. Her screen dropped off.
Okay, does anyone know that day Juliet is talking about, that African Day? All right, okay. So we are almost 30 minutes to the exit of this meeting. So in relation to the tree planting, let's go back and let's get final shows or submissions around that one. What do we think in relation to how we can do it, the best of it, to ensure that that day is recognized? Susan Diego, in Kenya, you were saying we were talking about the trees, of which you said the Minister of Agriculture in Kenya and might have some trees to support. I mean, to that you will get to support this process, and so you really needed an answer to this one as to how we can do it and what is the best. Submissions already. Susan Diego, you want to say something around your plans? Because Jane is not here now. And so, Mr. Sankor Mohammed in Guinea. So, are you planning to have a session back with your team and get back to us?
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, of course, sir. Concerning the tree planting process, or
Yes,
because
the tree planting is on June.
now, okay,
5th.
yes, of course, we need to discuss physically here with those that are members of UnityNet Guinea chapter. We have to discuss anything. I will get onto you later.
Yes, please get back to us. And as people, we are saying that let us work with those organizations already registered, and then we can work together with them to ensure we demonstrate something. I think that one is key. It's very, very important.
Yes, of course, we are already with people from the Ministry of Agriculture. Mr. Tunkara is part of the Ministry of Agriculture, and several other people. But as it is just a symbol to participate for the program, the World Environmental Day, we're going to see how actually we are going to participate from here.
Great. Yeah. Great. And so, Prophet, are you going to do a demonstration in the US that will also connect the issue of healing, the importance of tree, and connection to healing, the healing process? So I think we have not been able to get Juliet back, and so this meeting is almost coming to an end. So do you have anything you wanted to say in relation to Juliet's presentation? If you want to say anything around or whatever, anything, then you can say it now. And then, of course, we can have the closure of this meeting. Okay, so Enric, are you working with Juliet in relation to her proposal?
No, this is something new to me as well. I will touch base with her.
Okay, so which means you need to go back and collaborate. And I was also about to ask how we can also do it, especially in West Africa, so that it's also become a symbolic thing, as we are doing it in Southern Africa and probably East Africa. So this is very, very key. Yeah.
I will get in touch with Julia and see how we can take hands.
It's my understanding, Sir Carlos, well, I thought it was all over Africa. I know there are a number of people in this country who are very excited about the Africa Day. So I don't know. I wanted to say too about the tree planting and the use of the healing piece, but it's my understanding from what you said, the healing part is reconciliation between people. So whether it's slavery, colonization, something else, Ukraine, whatever, that the tree planting represents, the tree stands as sort of a monument to peace and healing of old whatever across humanity, across the globe. Is that sort of a summary of when you say the healing?
Yep.
Okay.
Correct.
All
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, that is great. And so that's really the symbolic, why it's very important for us. And thank you for that submission.
I think that Juliet and the bishop are going to put one sentence together. That was, whether it's on a Facebook page, sometimes like I can post things, everybody, who has Facebook, you can post it, but it's easier if there's something uniform and concrete. So to have that, say when we're, like I said, when we have the community healing days, we have one statement. We have, and there's simple free things to do. We have a pledge that we take that we're going to stand for a certain kind of principle. We have one color that we do, and we do it every year in October. So that's why I said there's some free things if you have a limited budget that can happen. But it would a big piece of it would be to have a clear statement what it stands for. Oh, I have to take this call. I'm sorry.
That is great, of course. It's superb. Really, what you are saying, what you've submitted is very, very important. So it is important if we have a uniform thing, as now we are UNAD. We are UNAD and UNI. So if we have anything, then we can do it together at global level. It becomes symbolic, it becomes colorful, and then it will send messages all over the world about us, and that's very key. So on that note, if we don't have, do we have any other things to discuss? I think we are done with today, what we have, and I'm very much happy and that we really discuss the issue of tree planting and what are we going to do in various countries or in Africa, what we're going to do, or even in Europe and America. And thank you very much. You're going to get more from us after our meeting tomorrow. We'll tell you more. And so we also have some gaps within the board that we are still bringing. I mean, we are still nominating some people to come on board. So if you are called, please note that UnityNet Africa and Diaspora, the board is needing you to serve Africa. Thank you. Thank you, and bye-bye. Prince Adro, we are closing this meeting. Are you there? Andrew, are you there? Hello, Andrew. Hello, Andrew.
Oh, bye, everybody.
Dr. Carlos?